Welcome to our next homework review video. This is going to cover off the content for Year 4, Block 5, Week 6, and we're going to be focusing on verbal reasoning. So let's just have a little look at the homework overview, just so you can see what this video will cover. So we're going to be looking at quite a few tasks within the CGP Verbal Reasoning GL 8 to 9 book. So Test 29, 30 and 31. That'll be on pages 72 to 79. We're also going to have a look at Puzzles 10 on page 94. And we're also going to focus on the tasks in the Schofield and Sims book and have a look at Section 2, Test 12. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to go through your homework now, and this will enable you to mark it, but also understand how to get to the answers. So let's jump straight in. Let's go to Test 29. So as we've said before within these videos, it's probably a good idea to try and time yourselves. Allow yourselves 10 minutes. If you don't quite finish in that time, put a little star and then you can carry on until the end. At least it gives you an idea of how far you're getting. And of course, if you do finish it within the 10 minutes, then do go back and double check your answers. So the first set of questions, let's see what we've got to do. We've got to change one letter at a time to make the first word into the final word. The answer must be a real word. Write your answer on the line. And the way to do this is to compare the two words that you are already given. So we've got the word time here and we've got side. So you have a look and you decide, well, why are they different? Well, of course, the T and the S have been changed. So if we change the T and bring it over to this side and change the word into tide, then you can see that if we change one letter, so if we change the S, it becomes side. And if we go back the other way, time becomes tide by changing the M to a D. So the answer is tide. Now we can have a look at this word. We've got food and moon. And again, the F and the M have been changed. So if we make food mood, you can see then that we're just changing one letter, changing the F to an M, and then mood becomes moon by changing the D to the N. Let's go on to number 3, and we've got tool and sail. So again, if we have a little look, you can see that the I and the L have changed. So if that becomes tail, then it can easily turn into sail by just changing one letter, the T, into an S. And the final one, we've got park and sack. So let's have a little look, see if we can work out. Yeah, so if the R changes to the C, and we keep everything else the same, we can have pack. So park becomes pack, and then pack becomes sack. Now, if you just want to double check here, this is the answer scheme, and this just explains the ladders as well, just in case you want to have a little look. So what we would suggest that you do is go down through, obviously ticking them off if you've got them correct. Moving on now to question 5 to 8. These are the insert the letters. So the idea being that you have to complete the first word to start the second word of the pair, and it is the same letter that must be used, of course, for both words. In the example, we've got fair and rhyme. So what we're going to do now is going to go down through and see. So we're going to have an E for ride and eats. We're going to have another E here for more and exit. Then we're going to have, let's have a little think what we would need to put into there. Might need to use the answer options a little bit to guide us here. So we're going to have a P here, and that's going to be for coop, like a chicken coop, and of course play. And then the last one, we're going to need a T for a kilt, what the Scots wear, and town. Now, sometimes with those ones, they can be quite difficult because you don't necessarily have the multiple choice options, but I would certainly suggest looking at the most unusual letter string. So if we consider number 7, there aren't many letters that will follow C-O-O. And likewise with O-W-N, there aren't that many letters that go in front of that, but you could also use your rhyming skills as well. So you could use your rhyming couplets, for example, to see if you can work out what letter goes into the gap. Moving on now to balanced equations. So for these, we need to make sure we have the same on both sides. So of the equal sign. So 44 divided by 4, of course, is 11. So therefore we need 11 on this side. 3 times something makes 27. So that will be 9. Then we've got 8 plus 12 is 20. 2 times 10 will make 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Take away 2 is 13. So we can always record that down there. And therefore it has to be the same on the other side. So let's just double check our answers. 11, 9, 10 and 13. Well done if you managed to get all of those correct. Now these are all about your alphabet, and knowing your alphabet is really, really important. Knowing the positions of the letters, knowing how to jump along the alphabet. So these little tasks here are just all about that alphabet along there. So the first one says, if the alphabet was written backwards, which letter would be at position 10? So you can go here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would be a Q. What is the alphabet position of the first letter of the word risk? So it will be an R. So again, you can do your counting, and that will get you to position 18. Question 15, excuse me, if all the letters in the word tar were removed from the alphabet, which letter would be in position 7 of the new alphabet? So T-A-R, so T-A-R. So if we count 7, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be H. So really the R and the T didn't really make too much of a difference. It was the A that made that alphabet slightly shorter. Question 16. If all the letters in the word elf were removed from the alphabet, what alphabet position would the letter P occupy? So again, just going to rub that out. You can obviously hopefully be doing this in pencil, so you can do the same. We're just going to rub out elf, E, L and F, and we're going to look at what position the letter P occupies. So counting from the beginning again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So position 13. Well done if you managed to get all of those correct. Put your mark obviously in the box. You can also use excuse me, the score chart at the back. Moving on now to test 30, and let's have a look at the first set of questions. We've got to find the most similar in meaning to the word in capitals. So let's go through. So we've got a blunder. A blunder would be a mistake. Beak would be bill, as in on a bird. Summon, so if you summon somebody, you beckon them, you call them across. Sociable, they could be outgoing. Again, let's have a little check. So mistake, error. Bill, both words are the sort of nose and the mouth of a bird. Beckon, to call someone to do something. And then outward going, or outgoing, is friendly and talkative. So any of those words you didn't know or you got wrong, do please put those into your word and meaning book. Make sure you put them in alphabetical order as well. And you can just write the simple definition that they've got in the answer scheme if you like. Now these are certainly one of our favourites. These are finding the hidden word. These are actually hidden 3-letter words. Usually they're 4, but finding the hidden 3-letter word within the sentence. So let's have a look at number 5. We've got the word met. We have a look at number 6. I haven't done these yet, so let's see if I can find them. We've got cap. Write the word neatly on the line. Number 7. Oh, sneaky one there. Got the word eel. And then the final one, having a look, we've got any between can and you. So again, let's just reveal the answers here. There we go. So you can go down through, tick them off, and move on to the next set of questions. Find a word that rhymes with the word in brackets and has a similar meaning to the clue in capitals. Write your answer on the line. I'm just going to reveal the answers to you here. So, let's have a look at number 9. We've got dog. Type of dog riding with doodle, of course, is a poodle. Number 10, we've got spacecraft, and it rhymes with pocket, and of course that is a rocket. Then we've got cozy and bug, and the answer to that is snug. Snug rhymes with bug and also means cozy, to get snug. So that looks more like an M, it's meant to be an N. And then number 12, we've got a performance, and it rhymes with neigh, and of course that is play. So well done if you managed to get all 4 of those. And moving on to the last set. I'm going to make this set just a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see. We'll reveal the answers as well. So let's just find out what we need to do here. We need to underline the word that can be put after, and I think that's really important to remember, it's after the word in capitals to form a new word. So it's bumble, and it goes with B. Then we've got note, pad, habit, at, we spell habitat, and then spot, and then spotlight. So again, those are your compound words. Any that were new, do record those down. So putting your mark out at 16 here, and also in your score chart at the back of your book. Moving on then to test 31. Now, test 31 actually starts with a set of number sequences, and it's important to remember with number sequences that sometimes if it doesn't reveal a pattern, maybe it's a special number. So we're just going to have a little look at what we need to do here. Now, you can see first of all, of course, it's decreasing, and by how much? So it's decreasing by 2 each time. I'm just going to write that above just so I can be clear about the pattern. So I then get to 11, take away 2, and I get 9. Let's have a look at number 2. Now this one actually is increasing in size, and it looks like we're going to be adding this time. We're going to be adding 3, so I can see the difference there between the numbers. And then if we add 3 to our final number, we're obviously going to get 39. And the number 3, now 32 to 16, there's 2 ways we could look at that. We could say it's dividing by 2, or it's taking away 16. Well, I know it's not taking away 16 because on 16, if I took away another 16, I'd have 0. So I think I'm right with my first decision, which is to divide the numbers by 2. So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And then the final one, 16, 14, 15, 13. Now, that's slightly unusual because it goes down then back up. So this is more like sort of having 2 sequences in one. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to leapfrog. So we're going to go 16, we're going to miss 14 out, 15, and we know then that we're going to need the number 14. And the other way of thinking about it is to say 14 to 13. If we had another number that we needed to create, of course it would be 12. And that's what we call an alternate sequence or leapfrogging sequence, and they are quite common. So we're just going to go down through and double check. So we've got 9, 39, 2 and 14. Then moving on to the next part of this test. 4 of the words in each list are linked. Underline the word that is not related to the other 4. So we've got to find the one word that is different from the rest. So if we look at number 5, we've got cod, salmon, haddock, tuna and octopus. So the word that doesn't relate to those is octopus, because all the others are types of fish. Number 6, we've got sandwich as the odd one out, because all the other 4 are types of sweet food. Number 7, we've got puddle, because that relates to sort of water, whereas dirt, soil, earth and mud are all types of soil or dirt. And number 8, we've got pummel, whack, smack, punch and crash. So the answer is crash, because all the others mean to strike something or someone. Next one, we need to find the 3-letter word hidden in the word in capitals. Clue is given in brackets. Write your answer on the line. So, scowl, the dairy, farm animal hidden there is, of course, a cow. And then we've got vandal, large vehicle, is van. Warmth, many battles. We've got war. Interesting there is the word arm, but it must fit with this clue here. And then we've got snowball, at once. We need to do it now. So again, well done if you managed to find all of those. They're quite good fun. We sort of describe those as shy words, words hidden within other words. So we're going to have a little look at these questions. Let's just quickly look at the answer so you can mark it. So hopefully you went with B. Let's see if we can work out why. So Layla is at school today. School doesn't open the weekend. If these statements are true, only one of the sentences below must be true. Which one? Circle the correct letter. Today is not the weekend. Well, we know because Layla's at school today and school doesn't open at the weekend. So we can rule out the fact that it's not Saturday or Sunday because Layla's at school. So that must be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday. So to say today is not the weekend is the only statement there that must be true. Let's have a look at 14. Water polo is a sport. Water polo is played in water. So the fact that water polo is a sport and it's played in water means that the statement that we're looking at here to be true must be C, because some sports are played in water and that is water polo. So it's relying on the information that we're given. So all sports are played in water. Well, that doesn't mention anything about that within the text, but we also know that not to be true. Football can be played underwater. No, it can't, and it's not mentioned within there, so we'll rule that one out. Some sports are played in water. That's the one we're going for as being true. Swimming is good for you, that's correct, but there's no mention of that within the text. So record down your mark out 14. And then we're going to move on now to puzzles 10. So hopefully you had a go at these puzzles. These are really good just to test your skills and develop your verbal reasoning. So time for a break. These puzzles let you practice your word making and your math skills here. So we've got two words in each sentence below that have been swapped. Write the swapped words, then rearrange the first letter of each word to answer the riddle. I have planned cunning A to steal the pies. I have a cunning plan to steal the pies. So it's plan and A. Now, you might remember from the instructions, we then need to rearrange the first letters of each of the words that we've got. So we're going to put a P over here. I'm just going to keep a record of these and an A. Then we've got the beetle scuttled. Say it again. The beetle scuttled old the across map. So the beetle scuttled across the old map. So it's old and across that we need there. They swap places, that sentence makes sense. So we've got an O and an A. Then we've got the owl screeched inside from noisily the tree. The owl screeched noisily from inside the tree. The two words that need to swap places here are inside and noisily. Now that then gives us, I believe, all of the letters that we need. So we've got an I and we've got an N. So if we have a little look at our answer here, we've got the P, the A, the O, the A, the I and the N, and these can be rearranged, and it says I am A. We need to use one of our A's up there. I'm just going to cross that one out. And if we rearrange all the other letters, we can make the word piano. And it fits very nicely within the clue. I have many keys, but I can't open a single door. So that's fantastic. Okay, so well done if you managed to get that right. Quite like the swap the words over. They're quite good fun. And hopefully you worked out it was a piano. Let's move on to the next part of the riddle, and this is called Unexpected Guests. Now, some aliens have heard about a special Earth meal and have flown all the way across the galaxy to try it. Unfortunately, they speak a strange number language, and we don't know what they want. Special computers have translated their message into letters, but you need to complete the sums. Use the code below to work out what Earth meal the aliens want to try. So, first thing we need to do is work out the calculations. Now, what you can do with these, a bit similar to balanced equations, is you can actually write the numbers under the letters. So if we got C plus C here, we know that's kind of 2 plus 2, okay, and we know that's 4. So we're then going to record the answer, though, not as a number, but we're actually going to record it as a letter. So the first one we've got there is an F. We're then going to the next one. We've got 2 times 4, take away 2. So that'll be 8. Take away 2 is going to give us 6. So let's just... Oh, sorry, no, I've done that incorrectly. That was my fault. I didn't look carefully enough. But we've got 2. H is a 5. Sorry, take away 2. There we go. That makes more sense. That gives us an 8, which gives us I. Let's go to the next one, see if I can get this one right. P is 10. Times by 2 is 20. Take away 5 gives us 15, so that gives us S. Or I think I know what the meal's going to be. Then we've got P is going to be 10. Divided by 2 is going to give me another 5. So that's going to give me an H. So if we keep going and we work out the meal. So the meal that the aliens want to try is fish. And, have you guessed it? Fish, and of course it's chips. So we're just going to go down there and write the answers down for you. But again, you can work out the calculations, and that gives us the answer, fish and chips. Just going to show you here so you can be clear about the answers. There we go, it shows you all the different steps and all the different calculations you need to do. So well done if you managed to get that correct. Let's move on now to the final part of our homework, which was actually looking in another book that we've been using quite a bit during this block, which is the Schofield and Sims book. So hopefully you've managed to complete the relevant test. That was section 2, test 12, and we're now just going to run over the answers very quickly. So let's just reveal what they are in the first one. So we've got mock, peer, and note. Now let's just explain how we do these. So the word in the square brackets has been made from some of the letters from the 2 outside words. Make a new word in the middle of the second group of words in the same way. Write the new word on the line. Now, there are different approaches to these. What I tend to like to do with these ones is actually number the positions of the letters. Now, we need to make sure that our writing is relatively small here. So let's just move over and make this slightly larger for you, and then I can demonstrate the method. So we're going to number 1, 2, 3, 4 position. So we've got 1 is F, I is 2, S is 3, 4 is H. And then over here we've got week, so we carry it on with 5, 6, you can write probably smaller than I can, and 8. And then we decide, well, where have those letters from Hawk come from? So the H is the 4th letter. Oh, there we go. The A is the 7th letter. The W is the 5th letter. And the K is the 8th letter. Now I'm just going to write that out a bit clearer. So we've got 4, 7, 5, and 8. Therefore, if we take the 4th letter from here, we get M. 7th letter, we get an O. 5th letter, we get a C. And the 8th letter, we get a K. And that's the word mock, like to tease. So you can see there that by numbering the positions of the letters, it makes it quite easy to work out the code. And the reason we do this is because sometimes there can be 2, if not 3 opportunities to actually get a letter from either side. So therefore, by doing the numbering, it just helps you understand what positions will hopefully make a real word in the end. So this one is peer, so you can hopefully use the number technique. And then we've got note. So well done if you managed to get those 3. We have done those a little bit in class as well, which is great. Okay, we move on now to our code questions. So again, I'm just going to reveal the answers so you can see what they are. There we go. So you've got CVMM for number 4, PSF for number 5, number 6 is star, and number 7 is fix. Now, I think it's probably worth me just going through maybe number 4, just so you're clear about what to do. So it's very dependent on whether you're given a code or a word to the direction that you're counting in. But let's just read the question. If look is written in code as MPPL, what is the code for bull? So because we're given a word, we know we're going to be counting from word to code. I'm actually going to write the word look just above MPPL, just so it's clear then about lining those letters up. So we're going to start by counting from L to M, and we can see we're plussing 1. So that means that the first thing we need to do with the B is plus 1, and we get C as our first letter. We then come back and we go O to P, and you can see that's plus 1 as well. And so is the next one. And K to L is also plus 1. So every single time I'm adding 1. So you go to U, add 1 is V. And then the L's, if we add 1, we get both of them are going to give us an M. So the code for bull is CVMM. So really important that, again, you're counting accurately on the alphabet. If you do make any mistakes, you'll probably be able to work it out, particularly on the codes to the words, because it won't spell a word. But yeah, just be really, really accurate. These can take a little bit longer to do, and certainly if you have a multiple choice sheet, that does help, because you can rule out maybe some of the options in your head. So number 5, I'm just going to write down what the answers are. It's PSF, and just to explain what the pattern was there, it was plus 1 from the word to the code. Then we've got star. And the pattern there was minus 1 from the code to the word. And then we've got mix is LHW, and then EHW spells the word fix. So well done if you managed to get all of those correct. And moving on to the penultimate set of questions here. These are letter analogies. And the important thing here is that we count from the first letter of each pair, and then the second letter of each pair. So we're going to go from F to J, and we find that on the alphabet. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 forwards. So go A, forwards 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see is E. Then we go back and we do the second letter. So we do P to T, that's also plus 4. Then we get A plus 4, we already know because we did it on the first letter, it gives us an E. So let's start with number 8. We're going to go from I to F. So we're going backwards 1, 2, 3. So we go R backwards 3. 1, 2, 3 is O. And then we're going to do E to B is 1, 2, 3 backwards again. K backwards 3. 1, 2, 3 gives us H. So it's OH. Let's just double check on our answers here. There we go. So the really important thing, excuse me, is to make sure that we do go from the first letter of each pair, then the second letter. So number 9 should have given us SV, it was minus 2, minus 2. Number 10 should have given us K and a T. And then number 11 was an O and an X. So well done if you did get all of those correct. One of the things we did talk about in class as well is also learning our mirrored letters for those ones. But well done if you managed to get those right. Okay, and the final question. So this is a word problem here. We've got to read the information carefully, work out the answer, and then record it on the line. So there are 17 people travelling on a train. So we're going to keep a running record of this because this could get a little bit confusing otherwise. So 17 people travelling on a train. At the first stop, 3 people leave. So we know that then there's 14 left. And 2 people get on. So that then takes us to 16. At the next stop, 6 people get off, so we're then down to 10. And then 4 people get on, so we're then back to 14 people. How many people are now travelling on the train? It is 14. Let's just reveal the answer here. So I would certainly keep a little record of that. Now, on here you can write your score out of 12. Hopefully it's a nice high one. You can even put the time that you took to do it. So say if it took you 3 minutes, you could write down the time there. And if you feel you've got a lot of them right, say 10 and above, you can certainly give it a tick as in target is met. Thank you very much for watching this video. Apologies for the little tickly cough I had there, but hopefully you found it useful. Bye-bye.